Hey guys, welcome back to another skate video, and today we have quite a few things to talk about. We got the X Games event that has just started on Tuesday. We also got a new update that added some interesting features and also changes and bug fixes to the game, and we also got some new issues, but not as much as usual. So this will be the last part of the video and luckily not the longest. So we're gonna start with the X Games event that you can find in Skate now. When you hop into the game, you will notice that Brick Switch, well, has changed a little bit, because now you can first of all see that there is an open access for the stadium, which means that everyone can enter the stadium and you don't need the Skate Premium Pass, and you also don't need to pay 250 RIP chips for a 24-hour day pass. A little hint here, if you should not see all of this stuff, you're not seeing the challenges or this one right here, just restart the game. Maybe it needs to be 2 times, maybe 3 times. I had to restart it 2 times for everything to show up. It didn't show up the first time I started it. So if that's the case for you as well, just restart the game until everything is showing up. What you will find as well are special X Games challenges, and all of those give you ticks, but also the event currency, which is the X coins. And what you can find as well are special throwdowns that you can just start right from this point. So you can either enter an existing throwdown or you start an own one, just like you would do with a normal throwdown, and then it will be at a set point around the stadium. On the map, you might also notice that Brick Switch now has fast traveling points. You don't need to unlock them through missions or anything like you have to do with the other neighborhoods, but you will only have to walk over to them or skate over to them and activate them manually. And then you can go around Brick Switch a little bit faster. These will also stay when the event ends, of course. In addition to the challenges, we also got tasks, of course, specifically for the X Games event. So we have one qualifier and one champion tab with tasks. In addition to this, you can also find the clubs tasks for the 4 different cities, so Los Angeles, New York, Sao Paulo, and Tokyo. And all of these tasks, of course, will also give you X coins. And with the clubs tasks, you can also unlock player card titles. And before we head over to the stadium, what you can find as well is a special X Games mission. With this mission, or by completing this mission, you can also unlock some more X coins and also some more ticks to unlock stuff in the battle pass. When you are at the stadium, the first thing you will notice is that the front of it has changed as well. So this whole stair part or entrance part is different than it was before. It actually skates a lot better than the one that we had before. So maybe they keep it like this, or maybe they give us an improved version when the event ends. And on the side of the stadium, you will also find another small park that you can also skate and where you can also find a challenge and a throwdown. So don't forget about this as well. I think it also has a pretty good flow. Now, when you are inside of the stadium, you will quickly notice that it has changed quite a bit. So it's parted into 3 parts now. We have the mega ramp right here. Also inside of the stadium, of course, you will find throwdowns and you will find challenges in all of the 3 parts. Once you have collected some X coins, you can head over to the store and then scroll all the way down, and here you will find the rewards that you can unlock with those coins. You have the shirts for the different cities, you have some quick drop items, banners and icons for your player card. In addition to this, you can also purchase some stuff with SanVanBox, several quick drop items that will be available for another 6 days. And we also have these city-specific or club-specific bundles right here. So the Tokyo, Sao Paulo, New York, and LA bundle. But back to the stadium, the other 2 parts you can find here is this bowl, and then down here you have the whole street section. And this is my favorite, to be honest, and I think it flows pretty well, it skates pretty well, and I would actually wish they would keep this, at least this part right here, simply because it's made so well. Now, what we can expect to see as well as part of this X Games event. First of all, the whole event runs until August 25th, which is also the end of season 4, but in between there will also be some things added during this event. On July 24th, 25th and 26th, which is when the actual X Games are happening in New Orleans, we will also see daily event tasks in Skate. And then on August 4th, which is in 2 weeks, the challenges and tasks of the event will refresh, so you can earn more X coins for the shop. And then on August 25th, I already said it, the X Games event will end. Now, moving on to the patch notes, or to the update that we got on Tuesday as well. Here, Skate has actually changed a bit more than I think a lot of us had expected. So we got some changes, we got some bug fixes, but we also got a handful of new features. What we got are skater codes that you can find in your social menu. So if you head over there after the update, you will get a pop-up right away that will explain the skater code and will also give you the opportunity to create a skater code. If you've already been there and didn't create one or just ignored the message, you can simply go to Find Skater, and then you will have those 3 tabs, and here you can either search for another skater code or create your own one. The skater code is always valid for 48 hours, and then you will have to create a new one. These skater codes actually allow you to give them to people you are not friends with yet, and with a code they will find you a lot easier and can join your party or add you as a friend a lot easier. They have also improved a trick, which is the from air foot plant. So when you're coming from the air and then plant your foot, this has been fully overhauled. They have changed the animation, timing, control, momentum, pop height, and so on, and also integration with other tricks. They have added directional controls out of the from air foot plants, so you can control it with the left stick. You can now land body flips into a foot plant, and the foot plants can also now be chained, but they have a diminishing strength, so you cannot do them infinitely. And what they've also improved is the transition air out to lip or flat. So when you're coming from a transition and you want to go to a lip, or you want to go out of the transition into flat, this behavior will be more reliable now, and it should also look a little bit better. What they finally fixed is the pumping consistency. So pumping on vert should be more consistent again and should work more reliable again. They have added adaptive trigger support for pumping and grab inputs on supported controllers, which I think should only be the PS5 controller. And here you can also toggle this in the accessibility settings. What they changed as well is the camera behavior. So here they made it a bit smoother in different situations. For example, while mounting, while doing foot plants, drop-ins, kick turns, big airs, climbing, and so on. They've also changed the social layout from horizontal to vertical navigation, and the social settings can now be found in the bottom right, or you go to the social settings in the new tab in the normal settings. And in addition to all of those new features, we also got quite a few bug fixes. So this is pretty much the full known issues list from the last few weeks. So what was fixed or what was changed is an issue where doing a boned ollie could cause future flip tricks to play incorrectly. There was also an issue where reverting after a grind would cause an unnatural speed boost. They have fixed various issues where the camera's height would unintentionally toggle between high and low settings. There was an issue where the camera would not update for your direction when you were mounted. Also an issue where returning to a lip mount session marker could result in severe glitches. They have fixed an issue where from air foot plants were not ending a scoring as intended. They fixed issues where late flips and finger flips would not flip correctly after an on-ground foot plant, and issues where a wipeout could occur when performing a foot plant into a body flip if the body flip requires wipeout settings was enabled. They have also finally fixed the issue where appearance changes could be lost if Skate was closed immediately after changing the appearance. They have fixed an issue with the replay editor where certain inputs would become unresponsive and would result in a soft lock. There was another issue with the replay editor where adjusting the camera or trim it could result in a soft lock as well. There was an issue with the replay editor specifically for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series where it wouldn't properly export a video. There was an issue where other skaters would visually stutter after teleporting. For some time you could also not climb the scaffolding of the M Corp Tower, this was also fixed. There was also an issue fixed where party members' names would swap with a random one during the celebration screen after a co-op challenge. They've fixed an issue where other players' quick drop objects were still visible, even though you had set the visibility for them to yours only. They have fixed an issue where Skate would freeze on the social spectate menu or while spectating. There was also an issue where Skate would black out when using fast travel, session markers, or when starting and completing challenges. There was an issue where Skate would also get into a black screen when loading into an area or after fast traveling, but only on PlayStation 4. Another issue that was fixed is when tail slides were registered as blonde slides in the tip to toe challenge. There was also an issue where pinned tasks were unintentionally duplicated. Other issues were when unexpected rip score pop-ups appeared after returning to San Van from the Isle of Grom. There was also an issue fixed where the auto curb pop-in setup setting affected gameplay even when it was toggled off. Another issue that was fixed is when players remained in a party even though they were kicked from this party. There was also an inconsistent physics behavior that caused frequent bails on Xbox One and PlayStation 4. There was an issue where dog slides were not counting in flip trick to grind challenge criteria, an issue where players received an error message stating that they don't have access to San Van, the Isle of Grom, or the stadium when they tried to join a party. There was also an issue where challenges on the Isle of Grom were grayed out and incorrectly displayed the daily challenge icon. Players were also able to remove quick drop objects that were not originally placed by them with the delete all button. For some players, quick drops were displayed in the skater section instead of their skater's appearance. They have also fixed an issue where the Flickr visualizer disappeared after completing a challenge, where player profile names didn't display as intended, where pedestrian voice lines could be heard even though you had turned the setting off, and they have also fixed or, well, improved an issue where other skaters could visually stutter while they are doing tricks near you. And in addition to this, of course, they also did various stability fixes to improve the overall experience and prevent crashes. And this was everything that we got with this update, which I think is actually quite a lot. However, I said it earlier in the video, unfortunately, we also got a handful of new known issues. So these are the issues that are still being investigated and that will hopefully be fixed in a future update as well. So some players are unable to export in MP4 format. Here again, the workaround for PC only, of course, is to export in WebM format. Sometimes pinned tasks do not remain pinned when the game reconnects after inactivity. Changing the graphics preset doesn't update the settings shown at the bottom of the graphics screen. The option to select between 16:9 centered HUD and a full width and height UI is present but not functional in windowed mode. Daily and mastery task sections sometimes display a blank screen. If this happens, just restart your game. Quick drop radial menu resets temporarily after joining the server, so this is unfortunately still present. The AMD driver 26.61 is still causing Skate to crash. If this is happening to you, roll back your driver to 26.5.2 and of course restart the game as well. Tail slides and nose slides are not correctly detected when approaching a ledge from its end. The friends list sometimes displays multiple entries of the same friend or sometimes none at all. Wall ride detection often causes skaters to flip unnaturally. The smith to tail slide task often fails to register, and the wrong item spawns when you use the quick drop menu to place something, which is probably the most annoying one of those bugs. And lastly, there's also an issue with some tasks on the week 6 and week 7 pages of the weekly tasks page, but here the Skate team has already pushed a backend fix and these should be tracking now. So if you gave up on them, they should be tracking now. And that was it for today. This was everything that we got in the last, well, week or last few days in Skate. And if you enjoyed this video, as usual, then be sure to drop a like and subscribe. And I'm gonna see you in the next one. Bye bye!